Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today is Thursday, January 27th, and my job starts in half an hour, so this might be a short and sweet video. Don't have too much to share. So yesterday my job ended early. I was done by 1 o'clock. So I did some more organizing and I also did some stitching. So remember, I am working on the ink circles piece, Dilly, Dahlia. So I was able to tear out what I had stitched, which was this, and then I restitched it in like the purple blue color. I think that's going to look really pretty. So I stitched on that while listening to the third season of the podcast, Something Was Wrong. Oh, just when I think like you can't get any more crazy with these stories, it surpasses. So highly recommend if you like podcasts. Okay, so remember I'm doing the decorating my Q snaps, right? And I was rounding the corners with scissors, but it wasn't quite as neat as I would have liked. So yesterday, remember I have all kinds of scrapbooking stuff, which is going to bode well for my junk journaling. I found this, which is, wait a minute, before I get little shards of paper everywhere. Let me clean that out. This is a three-way corner punch. This is, I want to say, 10 bucks maybe on Amazon, because that's where I got it. But it will give you, if you look, it will give you these different kinds of corners. So you put your paper in there, hole punch it, and it worked perfect. So I just picked a piece of vellum that I had because I have a bunch of sheets of it and practiced yesterday. And it worked perfect to round the corners, and it matches perfect on the Q-snap clamp. So that's going to be really fantastic. So I will link this in my link tree if you guys want to go purchase that. It makes it more uniform than doing it with scissors, let's put it that way. It's like 2 seconds doing it with this. Okay, so the junk journaling got pretty good responses from you guys. You guys really liked it. And Angela, the one that made Michelle Bendy Stitchy's journal, she even commented in yesterday's video and said most of her journals are 6x9. That's a perfect size for cross stitch smalls, which is the whole point. And and people had contacted her, so that's great. Like when I really love a product, I love, bringing business to small businesses like that. So happy. I actually went on Etsy today and I bought one more junk journal. I know. Just one more, and I promise you that's it. I bought a Christmas themed one, and I hemmed and hawed because there were like 3 different ones. Holy moly, some of those were $200, $300. I get that they're a lot of work, but good night, I cannot spend that. So I got one Christmas one. So now I have a Christmas, Halloween, because I like stitching for those 2 holidays, and I think a lot of us do. The Just Cross Stitch ornament issue comes out, and I have like all the years of that. I mean, I literally have so many smalls that it's crazy. And I just love the idea of being able to record my thoughts and little stickers and doodads. I mean, Michelle Bendy Stitchy's book is just so fantastic. So have a Christmas, have a Halloween one, and then like a regular one just for everything else, that I want to stitch small wise. And I know that what I do isn't for everyone. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I had a comment yesterday where someone said, now I don't think they cross stitch though. I think they only diamond paint. And they said, I can't imagine putting something in a book for it never to be looked at again. Something like that. And I was talking to Jill about it because I run everything through her. Like we talk about stuff all day long. And she said, you can't tell me that every single thing that somebody crafts they put on their wall. That it's just not possible space-wise. And she said, well, that would mean that when you got married, you would never take pictures and have a wedding album, because how many times do you flip through that, right? That was a really good point. I didn't think about that. The junk journal is for me to flip through, to do a couple pages and show you guys the pages that I've done. At the end of the year, to flip through it, do a video and flip through it, you know. And it's pretty, it's cool. Like, it's for me. It's not for anybody else. And it relieves the anxiety and the stress of me having to try to find fucking wall space for shit. Because my walls are filled. We know this. So, yeah. And she's like, what about people that scrapbook? I mean, you scrapbook and you put it in a scrapbook. Like, I have a scrapbook of stuff that I've done, and I can't tell you the last time I looked at that. But I have enjoyed every single page that I've done. You know, and for a lot of people, it's also the process of doing these things that gets you out of your head for a while, that alleviates stress, that does all of that. So I'm excited for the junk journaling, because let me tell you, the journaling has been the biggest expense, because I have the patterns, I have the fabric, I have all the cross-stitch doodads. I literally have so many packs, because Echo Park had like a 50% off sale a couple years ago, and I bought a whole bunch. I have so much scrapbook stuff. And what's so great, I'm telling you, what is so great about this journal, especially the way that Michelle Bendy Stitchy did hers, and inspiration for sure, is that it's not perfect. Like, you, instead of having to have everything be so perfectly neat and your handwriting so neat, you know, I would love to look back on this journal when I'm 80 years old in 30 years and be like, wow, I did that. Yeah, I mean, so I'm very, very excited to get, and both journals that I bought have shipped. So I know one's from Canada and the other one is from, they'll probably be here in a week or two. So can't wait to show you guys that. And then I also decided, and I hemmed and hawed about this for a couple days, but Michelle Bendy Stitchy again in her video, I decided to become a patron of Tracy Horner from Ink Circles. I really love Ink Circles patterns. I just love the monochrome stuff. You see I'm working on one right now. And if you, it's $10 a month for, she gives you a free she'll give you a free pattern every single month. Plus you get sneak peeks of new designs. And when I signed up, because I signed up yesterday, I had access then to 72 prior posts, meaning 72 prior patterns that she has done. Well, she hasn't done 72 patterns, but 72 prior posts that she has done. And for me, it's worth it. I'm not a patron of anybody else. I was a patron of Hannah Lynn for a little bit when I was doing coloring a lot. I really feel like this is going to be beneficial. Like I said, and you get a pattern every month from her for free. And Michelle had stitched one and put it in her junk journal. So can't wait. I have to take some time to peruse that. I've just glanced at it. I haven't looked through and downloaded the patterns and stuff, but I will definitely go in there and do that. Okay, so today's little inspirational story, and we all seem to like the story of the two apples. Yeah, today's story is called A Glass of Milk. A young poor boy who was begging from door to door to feed his hungry stomach decided he would ask for a meal at the next house. However, he lost his nerve when a lovely young woman opened the door. Instead of a meal, he just asked for a glass of water. And the woman thought he looked really hungry, so she brought him a large glass of milk. He drank it slowly and then asked, "How much do I owe you?" "You don't owe me anything," the woman replied. "My mother taught us never to accept pay for kindness." And he said, "Then I thank you from the bottom of my heart." So years later, now I read this story and it's a little far-fetched, but there's a moral to it. Years later, that young woman became critically ill, and the local doctors who were battling because they couldn't cure her, okay? And they finally sent her to the big city where they called specialists to study her rare illness. Dr. Howard Kelly was called in for the consultation, and when he heard the name of the town where she came from, a strange light filled his eyes. We know where this is going, right? Immediately, he rose and went down the hall of the hospital to her room, and he recognized her at once. He went back to the consultation room, determined to do his best to save her life, and from that day, he gave special attention to that case. After a long struggle, the battle was won. Yay for the woman. Dr. Kelly requested the business office to pass the final bill to him for approval, and he looked at it and then wrote something on the bill. It was sent to her room. The woman feared opening it because I'm guessing she not wealthy, for she was sure it might take the rest of her life to pay for it all because medical bills, So finally she looked and noticed something was written at the edge of the note. It said, paid in full with a glass of milk. So tears filled her eyes as she immediately remembered. So she was the woman that, and the doctor was the young boy. And so the moral of the story, every form of kindness you show doesn't bounce, it reproduces itself. Not necessarily before your eyes, but it always does. It is good to be good. Always be nice, for it always comes back to you. And, you know, like this story, I mean, years later. So I think sometimes we don't realize even the smallest show of kindness to someone, the repercussions of that, meaning the smallest thing we do for someone may make their entire day. So be kind where you can. That's my biggest piece of advice. But I love that story, right? That's a really good story to think that, you know, there are people out there like this in the world. And there are. Many, many people are good and kind in this world. Okay, so, unfucking ourselves, right, in 2022. All right, so today's is really short. It says, who are you going to be today? Okay, who are you going to be today? I'm going to be someone today that enjoys my day. I woke up this morning and I was just like, tired. But I've kind of gotten a little bit of pep in my step. I got myself ready, got a cup of coffee, going about the day. And what was nice was I didn't have to do laundry today because Bill came home and he had gotten really dirty at work yesterday. So he came home and he washed his uniform. So I didn't have to do any laundry today. So that was a nice little break. And remember my whole trash debacle? We think it's the raccoon, all of that. So the trash man came this morning and I didn't hear the truck. I must have been downstairs getting ready. And I looked out and I'm like, I see no trash. So I went and pulled the can back and there is a little bit of trash in the bottom, but nothing that we can't handle. Like I literally thought it was going to just be so much trash in the bottom of that can. So I'm actually very glad and grateful to the trash men for that. So that's a good thing too. So, yeah, so everybody go forth and prosper. Have a good day. Have a good Thursday. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.